In the previous video, we saw how to connect to Linux instances using a private key for authentication. In this video, we're going to see how the process works for Windows instances. For Windows, we use the Remote Desktop Protocol and log in as administrator. First, we will obtain the administrator password. Then we will log into the instance from Windows and finally from Mac. When AWS launches a Windows instance, it creates a random password for the administrator user. The public key associated with the instance is used to encrypt the password. The encrypted password can only be decrypted with the private key portion of the key pair. You can decrypt the password easily in the Management Console. Go under EC2, go under Running Instances, select the instance. Under the Actions menu, choose Get Windows Password. Notice that it gives the name of the key pair that was used when the instance was launched. In this case, Demo Key Pair. So we need to select the private key and then click Decrypt Password. Now we have the password for the administrator login. Let's make a note of the public DNS and password. Note that in order to connect, there has to be a rule in our security group that allows remote desktop. So let's check the security group and add that rule. Select RDP, which will already fill in the port range 3389, and select your IP address. And now save. Okay, now we should be ready to RDP into the instance. For Windows, we'll just search for the remote desktop client and enter in our connection information. The username should be administrator. Let's copy our password into the clipboard and choose Connect. Enter the password. Click OK. And now we have a remote desktop connection to the EC2 instance. For Macs, you will need to download the remote desktop application from the App Store. So let's just search for it. The one you need is the one that says Microsoft Remote Desktop. Once you have it installed, open it and click on New. For the connection name, type My Windows Instance or whatever you would like. For the PC name, copy the public DNS of the Windows instance and paste it there. For the username, type administrator and paste the password in the password field. All you have to do is click the red X to save this and then choose Start. We now have a remote desktop connection from Mac to our Windows instance. Note that we could have used the public IP address instead of the public DNS name to connect to the server. In this, the final video of this section, we saw how to connect to a Windows instance. In this section, we learned about key pairs, then we used them to authenticate and SSH to Linux instances, and finally we used them to decrypt the administrator password and remote desktop to a Windows instance. In the next section, we will cover networking on AWS, including IP addressing, subnets, and routing tables.